Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's showtime. And we'll start the show with something I was intending to do but had forgotten to do. We are going to use one of our runes of ascendance, and we're going to turn this into a unique. We have a 45% chance that the rune of ascendance rewinds, and I don't lose it or use it. And here we go. I still have 3. I didn't lose it. It's Valdir's Chalice. Damage reflected. Chance to inflict bleed, increased bleed duration. Physical damage over time leached his health. Health gained on kill per stack of bleed on the target. So the damage reflected. This, I'm going to assume that my question I asked yesterday, this answers, which is damage reflected isn't actually reflected in that it hits you and bounces back to the guy. It's duplicated. It hits you, and then the same amount of damage bounces back to the other guy. Which is how I assumed it worked, because otherwise, too much reflection, and you would be invincible. And that has 100%, so you would be invincible. All right. We're going to finish off this storyline.
My eyes must be deceiving me.
I'm not from the temple. I can't be. Atera would have told us if there were humans outside her temple, though there have been rumors. No, you must be mistaken. Whatever misfortune brought you down from the temple must have clouded your memory, human. You need to reach the temple. Yes, of course. Atera would be displeased to learn one of her humans wandered below the preparations before the preparations were complete, but returning won't be easy. Preparations? Naturally, the entire world has been preparing for your arrival. Atera and all her children, from the greatest god to the humblest servant. Oh, Atera, help us. If the humans arrive early, I don't know what we'll do. It's a party, and we haven't even been invited yet. This is the new chapter, chapter 10. Yeah, about halfway through. I don't know. Partway through. Now tell me about the chains. Oh yes, the chains are the usual way of traveling between the temple and the world below, but to our shame, the mechanism has been disabled. Did a strange Nagasa pass by? She's from chapter 9. If you've done chapter 9, you know which Nagasa. She wore strange garments. She saw the elevator's condition. She just began climbing the chains herself. What's wrong with the elevator? The mechanism lies deep beneath the earth, buried in a cave, now overrun with dragons. We tried to slow their spread, but, they're just like cockroaches. You can't stop the dragons. Also, good evening, Snoopy. There's little we can do. Unless they purge the cave and repair whatever damage was done, the elevator will remain useless. I suggest you stay here until it's safe. Atera would never forgive us if a human came to harm. Well, that would be thoughtful, but sadly, I have to find people and murder them. You know. So the rumors were true. A human walks among us. Ophid thinks you need to be coddled, but I see otherwise. You carry the look of a warrior. Thank you. That is not praise. It is the reason I allow myself to ask something of one I should be serving. I require your aid. A young hunter, Korut, has not returned from his expedition into dragon territory. Well, I was going into dragon territory anyway. He was only meant to scout their breeding grounds. I warned him not to stray too far, but I fear he chased glory. Likely hoping to bring back a dragon hide for his mantle. Too many stories of Scarven Bloodhorn, who I have been dealing with, if you ask me. But it matters little now. What matters is bringing Korut home. I will find Korut. Thank you, human. You honor me more than you know. Yes, I do, actually. That's why we humans are the good guys. Except in Guild Wars 2, where we are an invasive species. For reals. Enter the untamed forest. I have to find Korut, find the entrance to the Black Sun. Nope, that's Monolith, and then Monolith. Right. So once I finish up this here chapter 10, not sure what I'll be doing. Maybe some monoliths, maybe an alt. I started another alt earlier, but that's not the alt I intend to share with you if I'm going to start another one. I had two different ones that I wanted to kind of try, and so I chose one, and I would be choosing the other for you guys to watch. Oh, oh. We've got Nemesis sign. Why are you guys standing around my Nemesis? Got things to do, and you just annoying. All right, let us see where we left ourselves in terms of Nemesis. We've empowered it once. That one's gone all purple on us. That's an awful lot of damage. That is a tier 7. I thought that might be a tier 7. That's an enormous amount of increased damage over time. The attack speed is already pretty good, and it's just tier 2. Damage over time bleeds. A bleed build spear. I could see that. Or we could go, since it has cold penetration and minion cold penetration, conceivably frostbite. I don't remember what we were fighting. I'm just going to challenge it. It's the cold one. The cold one is the worst. Oh. But I had temporarily forgotten my damage is really quite good. The only real problem this build's got is kind of survivability. And some of that, at least, is just me not being a very good player. Well, that's not entirely fair. Me not knowing the proper use cases for Profane Veil and aggressively using them when I should be. Nice tongue. I'm pretty sure I didn't ask anyone for a tongue kiss. Not entirely sure, but I think so. I usually remember. And if I don't remember, the temporary restraining orders usually remind me. Oh, that's my friend. Never mind. That's friendly fire. In that it's actually friendly fire.
A human? What are you doing here?
A human? What are you doing here? Ah! Or, what are you doing here, ah? Don't strain yourself. I'm fine, but I can still hunt. Stop it. You're right, of course. You're right. You're human. But why are you here? Shouldn't you be in the temple? Talura sent me.
She did?
She did? Damn it! I just wanted to impress her, and all I did was make her worry. Tier 7 is the highest for regular affixes. There is now a way to raise a tier 7 to tier 8, which is a big jump. But if you do that, it counts as the only primordial item you can use. You can only use one primordial item, and if you elevate an affix to tier 8, that's the one that counts.
I thought if I hunted a lot, you're right. Coming out what?
So,
I heard humans were strong, but are you sure?
this is a fossil amulet, but not evidently one of the evolved or primordial weapon items. There's an NPC for the new League mechanic that has maybe 24 primordial uniques that you can buy with him from the currency that you get from the new mechanic. And you can only use one. And it has to either be one of those that you buy from him or one that you increase the tier on up to tier 8. The bonuses for going to tier 8 are very big, though, from what I've seen. Oh, I was wondering what that was. It was our friendly neighborhood purple dropping, delightful, delicious loot lizard. Level 65. And that will happen to me in 2 months. Not looking forward to that. I mean, the alternative of not having that occur would clearly be worse, but I'm not sure what I was doing there. There was a thing I was supposed to do. I'll speak with Talura back in the gardens. We have another point. Where were we? We have 2 points in Fleeting Crone. I think the rest are more putting more points into Spirit Leech, I think. But I will wait until we reach a good break point. All right, this is the new mechanic. Basically, you fight a beast, and then you evolve the beast. Evolving the beast gives it additional powers and additional loot that it will drop. And eventually, you go back in time and you fight it there, and that's when you evolve it. And if you evolve it 4 times, you have killed it, and you start up a new beast. So this one will be a big Rift Beast. And there's those dots kicking in. And a Cull kicks in, and he dies. At 40% of a boss mob, the item I got for the first time I killed the evolved mob, which is this, which is +2 to all skills, which is ginormously good. And at 40%, the boss that I killed the first time comes in as a pet to fight for me when I get a boss mob down to 40%. As you can see, I think anyway, my damage is pretty solid. But the defense, I am fragile. I'm such a delicate flower, you know. That is a champion. And there's my friend coming in again because he was down to 40%. And the friend hangs around for like 15 seconds. So the alt I made earlier is a Spellblade. He's not feeling especially strong. He's in the 20s. If I do make another alt later this evening, it will probably be a Shaman. Sorry, a Primalist. And I think eventually ends up as a Shaman, but I'm not positive off the top of my head. Pyromander. I believe those are... I forgot to look it up and see if they indeed do look like axolotls, but I think that's basically the model they have is they're modeled after axolotls. Because I think they have that rounded, blunt nose. But my axolotl history is a touch rusty, you know. Something big went flying by. Oh, it's flying or swimming by out there. Dragons? It's like dragons. Enjoying your tornado shaman? I think the one I was looking at is basically a thorns build. Reflecting a lot of damage and basically mostly just letting things attack you while you yawn and occasionally look at your nails until they die. You know, you give them the old, are you done yet? Oh, please keep hitting me. Yes, that works just fine. Ah, dead. All right, what do we got? We have the Taste of Blood, a low-level axe. We definitely want to empower because if that turns out well, we can use that on the shaman character we're thinking about making, in which case it could be busted good if we get a good affix. Oh, my friend's with me again for 15 seconds. The only problem with my friend is I keep forgetting he's there and I see his attack animation and I freak out. Alright, we have the beast again. We will be traveling to the ancient era this time, where we will indeed fight the beast eventually, but first of all we'll fight a bunch of his little friends. Although we are in the ancient era. This is kind of recursive. And then we'll evolve him again. Assuming we, don't die. These are the items you can get. These are all the primal uniques. Over here you have the currencies, which can be swapped 2 for 1. The Rune of Evolution, which is used to evolve a tier 7 into a tier 8. And then bags of materials and stuff. So for instance, I need 2 more feathers and I can get a bag of uniques. I have purchased 1 bag of uniques so far. It had 5 uniques in it. My guess was between 2 to 5, and then I changed that to 2 to 4. It was indeed 5. Some of them in here, for instance, you get when your minions to kill an enemy with a hit. The overkill damage is dealt to surrounding enemies. And also overkill damage is leached as health. That's a really strong one for minions. A lot of these seem to have minions. This is increased attack speed, movement speed, melee damage. And all stats on this item are increased by 16 to 20% per equipped non-idle magic item. In other words, if you're using blue quality items, all stats on this are increased by large amounts. Less damage taken from the first hit. Increased effective stats on your non-unique idols. So basically all of your non-unique idols have double the effect. Increased base crit, dodge rating if you've been hit, and ward when you dodge. These are all very strong items. Now, they tend to be very narrowly focused, so 1 or 2 probably are the only ones that are going to be good for whatever build you're playing, and maybe even none, in which case, not that one, that one. Legends Entwined. If you've ever played Diablo 3, The Ring of Royal Grandeur, it's the same thing. It adds +1 to every set count. So if a set has 2 pieces and you only are using 1, you get the full benefit. But for every complete set, you also get extra bonuses added on. So you could have 6 or 7 sets completed on your character and be seeing 6 or 7 to all skills. Attack and cast speed being increased by a stupidly large amount, and so on. So that is the most interesting part, I think, of the new content, is the primals. But I also do like that they have an alternate. If none of those items work for you, get yourself a really good tier 7 exalted item and bump it up to tier 8. Not only do you bump it up to tier 8, but it also becomes a sealed affix. So you can now have 6 affixes. You can have 4 regular ones, a regular one that you sealed yourself or that was sealed when the item dropped, and then the tier 8 one that's sealed, which would be a ludicrous item in the best possible way, of course. So I did discover and fix the problem that got me killed once last night. This looks like this is an end. Yeah, it is. Which was that it was actually somehow, definitely not by me, the game had reset. I assume it was due to the patch, one of the patches, had reset to windowed from borderless window. So when my mouse went over off of this screen onto my other screen and clicked, this went away completely, and I was looking at my desktop on my main screen. So that was what killed me. I will. The other 2 deaths, my fault. Fighting things too tough for me, maybe? Sure. But that one death, that one's not my fault. That was an actual issue that the game had created. Okay, that's the big boss cave. There is a little side cave that has a chest, and we want the chest. We want it, precious. We'll have it. Sadly, I can't see how many ancient bones I got out of that. Look like 3 stacks, maybe 4 stacks of like 75 bones each, which is one of the currencies. All right, now boss mob. And then we evolve it again. My friend showed up to dance on its grave. Thank you, friend. Although the friend has collision issues. All right, we need 1 more feather. If we wanted to buy a feather, it would cost us 2 horns. We have 18 horns. So if I buy a feather... Aha! So what I'm going to do is I will buy the bag of uniques in town, as that way I don't have it cluttering up my inventory. Okay, so this is where we choose to evolve. This will drop class-specific idols. This will drop a rare bow or quiver. I'd really rather have the primordial feathers than the primordial fang, but I don't want a rare bow or quiver because I don't use those. We'll go with the primordial fang. It will gain a powerful bite attack, but now it'll drop class-specific idols and primordial fangs. We have evolved it.
A fine choice of egg. Our next hunt will be our greatest.
And we're back where we were. Trying to find the main mechanisms. I am filled with stuff. I am going to go ahead and portal back to the garden, sell and dump off, and then return. Where's the portal? I didn't notice the portal back on that other map. Not sure why there is this sort of interstitial map at all, but it is. Purples. Quick. No, that's not purple at all. Colors confuse me. No, they don't. And Movement speed, 31%. 30. I'm liking that. Fizz and dodge rating. Elemental. What's our current elemental? We're a little low. Okay, I want to keep this and hold on to it. Let me move this stuff out of the way. I have my little mnemonic that I use to make sure things end up in the right place, and most of the time it works. Like that they went the PoE direction and left the league mechanic from that last season. Yes. Also the last season one, obviously they put in an enormous amount of work into. And it was really well done. This one is not as well done, but then it had a much shorter development cycle. So that was not a complaint, me saying that it's less well done. It came out a lot faster. I would hope that what we're going to see is sort of a smaller one and then a larger one alternating, which is kind of what PoE 1 at least does as well. Ward per second, current health converted ward when you directly cast a necrotic spell. Huh. Necrotic dex. I can roll off the dex. I think I'd give up an enormous amount of damage. But we'll slap it into the... we'll take a look at this later. We want to break that one up, I think. We do not want to ascend that. We want to break it up, please. We didn't get any of the shards I was hoping for, because the shard gods hate me. Not without cause. I do mock them. Regularly. Once we finish off where we were and we come back to here, we will get the bag of uniques and see what we get. Now, hopefully there is still a portal back here. There isn't. Okay, that's not good. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that is a bug or a very large oversight on the developer's part. As I didn't even get... Wow, that's really bad. That's not good.
Then accept my terrors, thank you.
That the portal gets eaten because of that stupid interstitial map. That's really, genuinely bad. Because now I get to fight my way all through this zone again. And then into the next zone because I didn't get to the fucking waypoint. That's so frustrating. Because it's so needless. That's just such a self-inflicted injury. Ooh, he's big. He was big. There's just no reason. Whoa, for that to have happened, we've got... Okay, that's a big idol. I like big idols, and I cannot lie. That is such a needless mistake. That's really frustrating. I mean, that's wasting minutes of my life. And this is not... Oh, well. Sure, I will take advantage of the Nemesis. But I could just run the map over and over again if that was what I wanted to do. Needless to say, it's not. Okay, melee lightning damage. Well, that's not a great one. I'm going to say that's probably a 2 or a 3. It's a tier 2. These have all gone purple on us. Maybe we can get lucky and get a second affix, or no, that one will go perfect. We're going to go ahead and empower again. It's not the ice one. The ice one is the worst. He's terrible. If it was the ice one, I would have simply accepted the stuff and moved on. Wait, do we have another? We do have another. We're going to confront the Rift Beast that we just already upgraded. And that's a champ. But you'll note, good damage. He didn't drop a champ item. What a jerk! And there we called him. We got free goodies. Chronophages, ornate solar idol of riposting. Increased echo damage when a spell echoes. And then 4 purples, which is I'm going to be okay with. Not going to lie. So of course we're going to get some goodies from going back through here, but I really wanted to be making, you know, progress. Back into the Dragon Grotto. Also, as a general rule, I think almost every map in an ARPG where there's like a campaign should have a waypoint when you enter the map. Because going through stuff that you've already gone through once, and it's not your fault or your decision, it always sucks. Even if it's not a big deal. Alright, I believe we're going to finish off this Nemesis again. Yeah. It went up to probably 2 more tiers. It was tier 2, probably tier 4 now. Yeah, tier 4. So this is going to be a real beat stick at level 13. That did either add an affix or seal an affix and add an affix. That's nice. Same thing here? No. That's 4 affixes. And over here, nothing special added. Let's go. And he's dead. I am happy with the amount of damage this build does. It does good, solid work. But I do feel a little bit fraggly. And I don't mean like fragile. I mean as if I were mispronouncing the word fragile. Because I was mispronouncing the word fragile. Well, we have got... Wow, that was a really unpleasant sound. That was. I have the window open because it's a nice day out. That was from the courtyard. Open a rift to confront our newfangled Rift Beast. He's back. You know him, you love him. Maybe you don't actually love him, but you know. There we go. It's a mirror drake. I don't know what a mirror drake does or is, but that's one of them. That was one of them. A rogue relic? Do I look like some kind of rogue? I'm clearly an educated mage type by nature. In this particular case, acolyte is fine. Presumably they've had a nice education too. Not as good as the mage, but who could possibly? Okay, don't need the potion. Pyromander. Ooh. We must have qualified for Circle of Fortune Tier 4, I think. Yeah, Tier 4. When a green item falls, the entire set drops. And we just barely made Tier 4, so we got the entire set to drop. Nice. Nice to have reached that particular mark, benchmark. I'm assuming we have a boss or something. There we go. We've claimed that. Or multiple bosses.
Their eggs are in your way. What will you do?
Voice of the Observer. The dragons. Their eggs are in your way. What will you do? I wonder. That looks like there's 3 batches of eggs. And no way out. I'm going to guess, like, which order you destroy the eggs in might matter. Ice Dragon. We don't like freezing. Those are just... Those are lava dragon eggs, and those are unknown. Looks like half and half. I'm sure no dragon is going to show up and be at all upset with me about this. Okay. The chain device looks operational now that it's free from the surrounding eggs. We activate the chain, and this presumably will summon the big, happy, delightful dragon. Just guessing. You've made a choice, yet it feels inevitable. Well, yeah. Huh. Okay. Back from the grotto to the garden, where we will now buy the bag of uniques. You thought I forgot. And I had. But fortunately, Scarvin is up here. Hi, Scarvin.
Seems we've crossed paths yet again. This time in the beating heart of
Bag of glyphs.
civilization.
Bag of uniques.
Trade.
Oh, look. It's the bot that needs spamming in the most desperate way. At least their name was short for a change. Never been to that website. I don't think I'll ever go. I was going to buy a bag of uniques. I now own a bag of uniques, but we won't be opening it till we've emptied out our bags. Oh, the anticipation. Must be driving you crazy. Good. Melee elemental damage. Well, I am currently making a spell blade and 126% increased melee elemental damage. Could be good. Acolyte, that's mana and minion health. Sadly, minions are for people who aren't cool enough to kill stuff on their own. I'm cool enough to kill stuff on my own. Mana, void resistance. Ooh, health. Health is nice. Reduced bonus damage taken from crits. I have that somewhere, don't I? Do I have reduced crits somewhere? I thought I had that somewhere. Critical strike avoidance. Yeah, I do have that. We'll drop this up here. We have the greens. The Xerix set. That is potions and potions. Yeah, that's not... I've never done anything with that set. I have, futzed around with some sets in the past, but that is not what I would call a bang-up set. Melee crit, please. Critical strike avoidance for 4 seconds when you use a potion. Poison resist for 4 seconds when you use a potion. Increase melee and throwing attack speed. Seriously? You guys, are you serious with this? What do we have here? Chance to cast Marrow Shards when you cast Transplant. Potion health converted to ward. I'm just not a fan of that one at all. Infected Grand Bone. Minion chance to inflict plague on hit. And we need another tab. 12,500 gold later. Increased echo damage, right. Volatile zombie damage. That's actually pretty good. All right, these. We want to... Wow. Actually, no, not quite. 57. Yeah, I think that one is probably better. So we'll bust this one up for parts. 3, 7, 8, 10, and we got out 5. I'll take it. Nope, 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 and I can't foresee a circumstance where having an additional 1 in transplant would matter much. All right, we're now going to open our bag of uniques, as I mentioned earlier. I opened 1 bag of uniques earlier, was expecting, I initially said between 2 and 5. Changed that to 2 and 4, but 5 was the actual number. Here we go. We have 3, at least one of which I already have. And then 2 idols. Chance to cast Elemental Nova when hit, and increase lightning damage, doubled if you have over 300 mana. That's solid if you're over 300 mana. Poison chance per equipped dagger, increase throwing damage. So if your double dagger is throwing, say, maybe. And also, one of them is a unique. Unvar's Hegemony. Mages, adorned idol. Once you have 2 runes for a runic invocation, your runes cannot change until they are consumed. 2% chance per intelligence for plus 22% elemental penetration with 2 rune invocations. So if you're firing off a lot of 2 rune invocations, that would be quite good. We already have an Orb Weaver's Fang. This one has 14 Weaver's Will. I think the other one had less. 12. Too bad you can't dual wield them, huh? And the other is Essence Weaver, another Weaver's Will one. Stack of Elemental Essence when you directly use a melee attack and hit at least 1 enemy. At 9 stacks of Elemental Essence, consume all stacks to randomly cast Smite, Frostclaw, or Stormbolt at a nearby enemy. Per essence consumed, so 9 of those. Stats on this item are tripled for casts which consumed Elemental Essence. Extra spell damage, elemental damage, and mana regen. Level 68. That does sound like that could be really, really good for that Spellblade I'm making. But still, we only got 3 uniques, and one of them I already had. So I would describe this as slightly disappointing. I need to return to the garden and inspect the elevator. It looks ancient and intricate, but the platform will take me up. Oh, we don't have animation for that. Disappointed. Okay, we do have animation for that. We have big dragon flying up towards me. Big chains. Hi, how you doing? Ice dragon. Okay, it has iced up stuff, and I'm stuck. Ah, okay. I have reached the peak. Okay, we've got a couple of different ways to go. Let's follow the chain. But if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying we must never break the chain. That's an old guy music reference. You kids today probably won't get it. Fleetwood Mac. A genuinely great song. All right, we have got a brand new nemesis, I think. Doublet of Onos Tull. Not to be confused, of course, with Jethro Tull. That's another old guy music reference. And Cleaver Solution. I actually think that makes a couple of builds, so we need to empower it. Don't be the ice dude. He's not. It's the poison dude, I think. First time he dies fast and easy. We have a champion up ahead. He is the curator. He was the curator. Let's grab... Oh, affix shards. We continue our ascent. I like the visuals a lot. Very cool. Another Mirror Drake. Sure, we'll grab that and that. And I have no idea if like the different paths lead to different things. If we were to go that way, if they all sort of come together, if there's any sort of optimal path or path of differing results. Don't know. I don't know. It just got there, didn't I? Right. That was the worst British accent you'll hear tonight on this stream, at least. Open the rift to confront a rift beast. Okay. And he'll drop now. Why didn't... There he goes. Maybe I didn't have him dotted up with the right dot for the cull to kick in. And now I've earwormed myself as the song going through my head is Fleetwood Mac's The Chain. which is a great song. And it is a change because I earwormed myself like 2 days ago. With an unexpected cover of an Elton John song by Metallica. That's a dead end. So I had earwormed myself previously with them. Metallica doing Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. And I think a tribute event for Elton John and Bernie Taupin. It was really good. All right, up we go again. Anti-gravity rocks, by the way. Actually, it's not true. They're not anti-gravity. They're just super styrofoam. Actually lighter than air. Well, we have a door. And it's not open, so it's not ajar. Up here is, like, the temple? Don't know. No, it's another island. Surtok. Oh, a couple of less than friendly friends, I'm going to go out on a limb and say. Surtok and Vintaros. God damn it, I did it again. That's a case where it feels like the camera angle is a little bit, unfortunately, tight. So you can't really see the critters that you're trying to find, let alone mouse over them and see what kind of health they've got left. They're just too damn big. The temple in the sky. Going up to the temple in the sky. Old guy music reference. I am made of them. Temple of Itera, search for Apophis. That's the priestess. From the Nagasa priestess. Really, you know, whoever doing their gardening, the garden's lovely, but they just don't tidy up after themselves, it seems. Kinds of busted ass equipment on the ground and stuff. Well, that'll make things even faster. Congratulations, everything's a crit. Oh, that's going that way. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let's see if we can go the other way. Doesn't look like it. Maybe? Answer unclear. Ask again later. Whoop, that looks dangerous. That looks all dangery, as a friend of mine would say. Well, I mean, Atera's temple is supposed to be all about the humans, right? So, why is she doing this, man? We have an entire green set again. Excellent. And you don't even have to wield the sets. You can actually pry off the affixes and attach them to other items and get access to the set bonuses without actually having to wear all the items. 3 more, all right. Oh, gold! I love gold! I'm short of room mobs that need blasting. Nemesis, we want to power it some more, because of course we do. Don't like the poison one because it's so hard for me to see exactly where I'm supposed to stand on those lines of poison to not get the line of poison in the face. Or anywhere else on my body. I'm not big generally on poison in any portion of my existence. Does feel a bit like this design is stretching it out. Orbis will give you the power you need to change our fate. You keep telling yourself that, Apophis. Oh, she's summoning up bad guys. It's one down. He'll probably bleed out. Or something out. I believe we've got everybody. Was everyone served? Yes, I think so. Enter the Temple of Itera. Alright, first thing we're going to do. Okay, almost first thing we're going to do. Kill some mobs. Pick that up. And we're going to come over here and we're going to nab this. Nemesis. Got him. Got it again. And we're going to go back to town and empty out our inventory and stuff. The garden. Vile ornate bone idol. Poison damage while aura of decay is active. I've got a couple of more. Green item bits. Let's see. Pebbles. That is a pet set. But I believe for necromancers. Yeah, some skeletons. Where's the last bit? That's a blade of the forgotten nut. That's the last bit. Yeah, that's the last bit. I swear to God, the clicking a lot of times doesn't ever work correctly. Have you ever ran the dungeons? Yeah, I've run all of them at least once. One of them is important because it's how you apply legendary potential on any of your uniques. That's the Temporal Sanctum. You have to beat the boss, and then that gives you access to where you can put an exalted and an item of the same type, a unique item of the same type, like sword with sword, chest armor with chest armor, and peel off one or more affix from the exalted item onto the unique, making the unique sometimes stupidly powerful. There's another one. I can't remember the mechanic in one of them. One of them ends up basically with you having sort of a currency for the dungeon that you use to buy and buff loot boxes. So you fight your way through and you end up with, let's say, 1,000 of the dungeon currency and you have to spend it. And it's like, 20 points will buy you a box. 50 points will improve the quality of the items in that box. 125 points will triple that box, so you now have 3 times as many, and so on and so forth. And you buff up your rewards from the dungeon by sort of having this little mini game of improving stuff or passing or paying, to try something different. I've only done that like once or twice. Um, so I'm not positive as to how exactly to optimize for that one. I think I've done it twice. And also, there are certain dungeons where bosses have specific drops that people will farm. That's not uncommon at all. Didn't we have one more green item? I would have sworn we had one more green item. Well, we'll get there when we get there. The one I've done the most by far is the Temporal Sanctum. For instance, you see these items here, each are now have the pinkish additional affix. For instance, this one has a tier 6. If you had a regular doublet of Onos Tull with one legendary potential and an exalted chest piece, you could move the strength from the exalted chest piece onto the doublet and you'd end up with exactly this item. A doublet of Onos Tull with strength, however much strength was on the exalted item. So basically you smoosh the two together. And something like this, by itself, the doublet of Onos Tull is fine. But you put it and give it 18 strength, and all of a sudden that's a really, really good low-level item for a starting character that's strength-based. And so I put it here because it's not at all unlikely that if I do make a shaman, my shaman will want to use that for some length of time because it also has minion effects. Minions have shamans, everybody uses health, and this also adds strength. At a level 5 item, it takes a very good item and makes it really good. Perhaps even, dare I say, stupid good. Oh, I dare. All right, purples go here. And Odachi to inflict bleed on hit. A lot of bleed. That's a lot of bleed. Axe with, tier 6 and tier 6. 2 suffixes. Dodge rating. Freeze rate multiplier. Good if you're building a freeze dot build. Less good if you're not. Increased fire damage. Potentially good. Everything else. Oh, that's the other green one. We found the other green one. Five, 6, 4. The Locket. Void damage, critical strike, chance to inflict time rot. Because time is on your side. Yes, it is. All right, we'll see which of these we're going to sell, which we might want to break down for parts. I think we'll rip that one apart for parts. I am such a wit. Armor, area for area skills. Neither of those is good enough to make the cut. Bust this one up. It's got not a lot. And we got exactly 1 shard out. Thanks. That was really an impressive, depressing result. Okay. We're now going back into the Temple of Iterra. Temple in the sky. Iterra's Arboretum. And then that leads to the Halls of Preservation. And then presumably that is the Observer's Prison. Maybe the Ancient Forest? Not sure. No, it looks like because we could go to the Ancient Forest. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Is that where we came in? And then we worked our way over to here and then around? Anyway, the Arboretum. How nice. anew. Shrine just for us. Muchly appreciated.
Sacred
Is that Apophis again talking to us? No. Is there actually a Harbinger nearby, or is that the message from the last time I was in here? Oh, I was going to say left, right, or straight, but we didn't actually have an option. We had the illusion of an option. Spriggans! That is a shrine effect, the thumping with the big disturbed earth effect, shall we say. Seems like some of these things keep shooting after they're dead. Which is rude. You know, I'm the guest. I'm probably not supposed to be mentioning this, but it is rude of them. Keep shooting at me after I've already killed them. We do have a champion over here. And he's about to eat it. Multiple curators? Well, that seems strange. How could you be called the curator if there's multiples? Shouldn't that be a curator? I like the visuals for this place a lot. Good work by the art team. Very cool. I know a lot of people complain about the visuals in this game. Maybe I'm just old. Well, okay, it's not maybe I'm old. I'm definitely freaking old. But it's fine to me. One thing I've noticed about getting old as a gamer is I don't notice the niceties now. You know, if I'm playing a game on, 3480, I don't really see a noticeable difference most of the time. My assumption is I'm just old and I can't tell the difference. But I'm also not actually complaining about that because that's probably really good in that I don't have to run things at maximal visual fidelity all of the freaking time. Is it Apophis? No. Oh, that is big, and I'm probably going to have to fight it, whatever it is. Lagon, my capricious child, do not let chaos cloud. It was Lagon. I thought it looked like Lagon. Yeah, that's Lagon. All right. Okay, I defeated Lagon's minions, and now this is Majasa's minions.
My vain child, do not let envy poison your thoughts.
Who's next? These are all the various gods we've run into, and some of whom we've murdered. It was fine, really.
Hierot, a god of strength and compassion, to shield humanity from the harshest of seasons. Winter will bring death on frozen limbs. But Hierot, my kindest child, do not let your gentle heart burden you. Humanity needs you.
Next up, Rye. I don't think we I don't remember. I guess we kill Rye in Monoliths. I don't know if we kill him
God of glory and power, to lead
in the
humanity
storyline.
towards their radiant dawn. Sun's light will guide Raya, my prideful child. Do not let your ambition make you cruel. Humanity needs
I'm not sure.
Etera.
Oh, Etera.
Goddess of creation, mother of gods, steward of humanity and its legacy, architect of a world that would welcome you and guide for you. Etera, a goddess who hopes she has done enough, but knows there is still so much to do.
And Orobus?
Humanity needs me.
Oh, is Orobus the Observer?
The Observer, the god of fate and time.
No, he's just the Observer.
Brings everything I've worked for. He's
I would never want her.
The Halls of Preservation.
I must stay here in the temple, away from the beautiful world she's made.
Voice of the Observer. I would never want her to fear me. That is why I must stay here in the temple, away from the beautiful world she made. Maybe the Observer becomes Orobus? There we go. We've got another Nemesis. No. God damn. I really wish. That's one thing I really wish that they would steal from what PoE is added now, which is the ability to pause the game. Font of the Erased. Well, we definitely would like to see that at a higher Weaver's Will value. Soul Bastion. Sure, we're going to empower it. Don't be ice. It's the lightning guy. He's, the first version's gone. Over here we had a shrine. Might as well get the shrine. It's a thing. Okay. It looked like tentacles. It wasn't tentacles. It was roots. Another waypoint, always welcome. Someone's going to want to talk to us. Oh yeah, 65.
The Elysians.
The Elysians, the pinnacle of humanity, they wielded power beyond what is imaginable. They made my brother and I and our siblings, like our siblings, they are gone now, taken by the calamity. A scant few thousand survivors are all that I managed to preserve of the Elysians. It's my mission to prepare the world for their return. They'll awaken free from memories of the past, and I will guide them as their goddess, such that they do not repeat their mistakes. That sounds a little bit full of yourself. Of course, being a little bit full of yourself is kind of on brand for a god, I guess. Part of the family business, I suppose. level 66. And we've got Beast Sign. Open the rift to confront our friendly neighborhood rift beast again. I have 2 points. I forgot to check that. Give me a sec. I want to see where I should be spending those. I think I know, but I'm not sure that I know. So, I guess I don't know. Yeah, looks like we go up to 4 in Spirit Leech. All right, Beastie. All right, we have another doorway. The Observer's Prison. I think this is the last. It's the last thing that shows up on the map. Whether it's actually the last or not. Apophis and the Observer. Orbis, the time is now. I need more power. You must help me. You command the void as well? Curious. What? You promised me freedom. Freedom for us both. To save the future from the Traveler. I am the Traveler. I said nothing of the sort. Fine, I will show you. Behold the ruin that will come to pass.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it. Whoa!
This must be erased.
No, this must be erased. Apophis, this isn't what Orbis said would happen. Etera, what have I done? The Observer wants to, fight. And apparently she has turned the Observer into Orbis. So she turned the Observer into Orbis. But that doesn't really make sense because the Orbis talked her into this in the first place. So where did Orbis came from? This is one of the things that happens when you mess around with time travel in stories. It always breaks. Always. We finish him?
Let the void take all.
Let the void take all. I will not be cruel. Goodbye.
This ends now, observer.
Terra, this ends now. Observer. Please, I don't want this. For humanity's sake, you must be sealed. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Erase this timeline and we can start over. I can fix this. I can... No! There is no other way, brother.
Other way.
I will remember this. Oribus will remember this. Yep, the Observer and Oribus.
So be it.
One and the
That's
same.
really how it is. The void was always destined to destroy the world. Just because we're not perfect? Don't make me laugh.
My character saying something I don't know what.
Fate has been
Traveler,
strange
fate has
to
been
me.
strange to bring you and Apophis here, but I believe that is by design. Oribus, the darkest impulses of the Observer made manifest. Even now, the Lotus Prison. Strange to keep his transformation in check. The fact that the two of you are here and were instrumental to his corruption tells me he will become free eventually, free to orchestrate this. I do not blame you. This was his doing, and my failure in keeping him from surrendering to his despair. Do not blame Apophis. In her search for freedom, she was manipulated by Oribus. Please show her mercy. There's little time now. I must give my power to the Lotus Prison to keep him contained as long as I am able. Once I do this, my temple will fall from the sky. Well, that explains why the Temple of Terra isn't in the sky in the earlier parts of the story.
You still
Still have a role to play. The Epoch is part of the Observer I managed to save from his despair. I have shattered it and will scatter the pieces so they may stay safe in the eons to come. Yet I see they will make their way to you, Traveler. It is the last of his hope. It is the key to defeating Oribus. Use it and go. Stay safe, Traveler.
Oribus used me. I deserve this fate. What? Traveler.
I'm gonna just pull my hand back out and go, psych!
End here. I will make sure of that.
It's a dick move, but
The past has nothing.
yeah, that's
left
what
to
it is. It's a
offer.
dick move.
Fate is in motion now. Its darkness cannot be denied. But fate can be delayed, even if for a moment.
Hardly on.
That will be my.
Ooh, she didn't even get to finish her speech. Oh, final gift. There we go. A final gift is you dropping a great big rock on the earth. Well, that's one way of looking at it, I guess. A final gift. Well, here we are back again.
Welcome back, traveler.
I thought you were in the ancient era. Just now, weren't you? It certainly smells like it. Where's Apophis? Ah, her. She slithered off somewhere to sulk, I imagine. Don't you worry, I'm watching her. I have to ask, why did you save her after all the trouble she's caused? Terra asked me to show mercy. She's better than me. I'd have smote Apophis into tiny bits if I was her, but divine grace and compassion isn't exactly my thing. I have to agree. What happens now? Why are you asking me? It's your fate. You figure it out. I'll say this. You know how Oribus came into existence, but you still do not have the full story of how he became free. There'll be a way to learn the rest of that story, but the Epoch is still healing from what your scaly friend to it. You'll need to restore it to its original power. How do I do that? That's the problem. I only know of one way, and I don't know that you're ready for what's in there. I can take care of myself. I've heard that before, too. Take it into the Monolith of Fate. Repairing the lost timelines will help restore the power to the Epoch. Tell me more about the Monolith. No. Just no? Yeah. If you're really going in there, speak to Agony. She's more patient than I am. Farewell, traveler, and good luck. Speak with Agony. Agony and ecstasy.
Oh, yes?
I know what the knight told you, traveler, but the only one who knows if you're ready is you. I'm ready. Then hold fast to your fear and walk through these gates. The Monolith of Fate holds your only hope. By stabilizing its chaos, you will restore power to the Epoch. Monolith of Fate. Monolith of Fate is the medium through which we explore the endgame. Shh. Now I see you're ready to explore. Goodbye. All right.
Do you feel it, traveler?
Gas?
Shackles of fate binding tighter. Apophis slipping beyond your reach. Your fate is set, and it always ends with me. Come, see for yourself inside the monolith. There are other realities that fought against their fate. But no matter their sacrifice, they fell.
Things fall apart. The center cannot hold.
Champions, empires.
Weren't expecting any
gods,
Yates in this evening's stream, were you?
or, in the end, aberrations. There is no escape from the void. There is no escape from me.
He's cheery. He seems like a nice fellow. I'd like to meet him. Volatile zombie damage. Did we not have a volatile zombie damage? Yeah, we have 2 of them now. Well, let's put them together. In case I decide I want to do volatile zombies. Gotta say, this one's got more damage. That one, 40% physical resistance, is quite tasty. Chance for plus 30 throwing fire damage with shield throw. I would like to do a shield throw build. That's true. Let's see, we have a purple, just the one. Fizz resist. That's a good one. The rest of these things are probably just going to get sold.
These items might be your best bet.
And a Solarium hammer. Why I picked that up, I have no idea. Well, I don't think I want to start a new alt just yet. I can wait for tomorrow. We will do some more monoliths. The actual end game that we successfully reached now. All right. The last thing we did was there. See, I failed on a number of these. As they were kind of kicking my ass. Sure, we'll go with that one. Pardon the yawn. God damn. Slay enemies to locate the wild gate. The thing about these is that some of them have specific mob types that are unpleasant to deal with or particularly dangerous for my build. And if I pull one of those, I'm constantly fighting for survival against them. Because they tend to have limited numbers of different flavors of mobs in any given monolith echo. Oh, he's still fighting. Not anymore, he's not. Oop, we've got a shrine. Those ones are annoying because when they die, the spell they cast does not go away. We have a yellow loot lizard. At some point, I probably should put together a filter. The filter system in the game is quite powerful and not so complicated that you can't build a useful filter yourself. Ooh, I almost got me out. It's not even the ones I'm looking for. To seal the wild gate. The ones that are really dangerous, and I think I may run into them in the place we're going, is the matriarch and patriarch. It's not uncommon for me to get all the way to that act in Eoboria and without a single death, and then die to the matriarch and patriarch. They just have my number. That's all I can say. We have another yellow. Loot lizard. I like to finish my thoughts when I can, but I often interrupt myself. Part of the price of being me. We got another one of the matrons, and then we've got a champion. Lithicus the giant. He's going to burn out. There he goes. Those matriarchs are really just a pain in the ass. Primarily because their spell stays around once they're dead. They don't have the good grace to take it and take their spell with them. Up to 14 Weavers will. We're going to empower it again because we're crazy like that. All right, and now we will finish off this monolith. I think, but I'm not positive, that the Wangari Matriarch and Patriarch show up at the end. That may be a different event. No, that was the last thing, and we have completed successfully this monolith. We'll go back. Grab some shards. Sell most of this stuff. We got a few purples, though, right? Those go into the purple box. We're running out of space in our purple box. 24.4% of melee damage leached as health. I mean, that's a big number, but how often are you really needing 24% per whack? Plus 7 to all attributes. Plus 80 melee lightning damage. Stun chance and a wand. That's kind of a non-starter. And the other was over here, I think. Yes, indeed. Potion health converted to ward. I cannot, in good conscience, put that in there. It's just an affix I've never found useful at all.
Yes.
Zero zippity. Wait. I think we need this. The crystal swords for one of the two builds I was looking at. In which case I should probably just, go ahead and buy one. Because it's cheap.
Okay.
And we'll drop it into our, hey, we're going to be using this in a future build box. It's important you have your boxes at least clearly laid out in your head. So I'll probably throw another 20 or 30 minutes in. Just run some monoliths. Slay enemies until the cocooned item drops. I don't even remember what a cocooned item is. Other than it's from the last league and sounds cool. Yep. But we've got a shrine. No reason to not grab the shrine. A little bit out of my way, but that's fine. I mean, well, that would be the only reason. Affix shards. That was not a particularly great, or particularly generous batch of cards. Or shards, I have to say. Cards. I think occasionally that the cocooned item is a unique. I think it's just basically a unique. You uncocoon it, you get the unique. Oop, he's a champion. He was a champ. Now he's just dead. Portal charm, very nice. Portal charms are used in dungeons to basically take you straight to the boss. They're especially useful if you're in the temporal sanctum. And the only reason you're there is to swap the LP on something. That's it. It's a cocooned scepter. Well, I was kind of right, at least, in that it is cocooned unique item. I think it said legendary. We will open portal and head it right on back. Runes. Oh, let's see if any of this is useful. Nope. Nope. Nah. Don't think so. This'll decay. Yeah, I don't think that. So we'll just...
Yes?
I will now start attempting to be slightly more selective in the things I keep. Contains a random unique scepter. Yeah, so I did remember it correctly. I just didn't... it's a present wrapped up, but it does tell you what type of present. I thought it was a non-specific, but it's a scepter. I hope you're not feeling skeptical. Hazelroot. 2 LP. You might wonder why Lens, are you sighing about a 2 LP? Oh. You have 2 Hazelroots. Well, this one does have 2 LP. 2 LP, not to sneeze at. Stats are okay. Chance to cast Thorn Shield on yourself when you directly use a physical skill. I think that's kind of key to the Thorns build. Because Thorn Shield is what you constantly are casting. So that mobs hit you, they go, ow! Two LP is, not bad, obviously. How about we see if they've got some rare wands and catalysts that we would like? How's that sound, everyone? We'll head this way. No, we won't head that way. We did head that way, but there was no way that way. So we stopped going that way. Spine Hunter Alpha. Whoa! He hits pretty hard. Not going to say that he doesn't, because he does. Now he's dead. Man, he didn't drop shit. All right, open caches to lure out the ambush. I would have thought that was probably going to be the ambush. Whoops. Those big guys are unpleasant because they hit really hard. We have, we've got a Weaver's locale. So that'll be another opportunity for us to die. Descendants are nice. All right, we're going in. Into the tomb. Whoops. Don't want to leave those behind. Especially one of those was a rare one. Why are you not dead yet? I require you to be dead. So, you know, die. How rude. Not dying on my schedule. Seriously. Oop. I always go, oop, even if it's good something happening that drops. Good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun. Old guy movie reference. Fate Weaver Lachesis. Well, whoever they were, they're dead now. That was the boss for the map. So they, in point of fact, will not be killing me today. At least not here. Woven Enchanter. Let's see. Harness the power of Weaver to craft a class-specific or Weaver idol. You can see these ones have had additional things added. Poison duration and the ward decay threshold in 1 ward per second is not much. This one's a little bit better, but it also has basically a second for the same skill. Applying Damned. This one's just not that great at all. How about this? Fire Pen. Good. Damage over time, very good. So yeah, we'll see if we can't. I guess it requires the non-small ones. Then we'll re-roll. That spell damage for curses is pretty good, but I think it keeps the implicits, the white affixes. I think it just re-rolls the Weaver ones. Yes. And we don't do poison overload, so it has 1 Weaver's touch, so we'll get one more affix, but more likely next time we run, we'll drop one in, drop this thing back in, and re-roll it. We now exit, and we will continue our way to open caches and lure out the ambush. Well, that idol has just improved. Yeah, so it just upgraded the quality of the affix it already had. That one will get rerolled next time we... That's the Curator. You may remember we were fighting not too terribly long ago. Echo is conquered. Portal Champions Mystic Helm. Plus a whole bunch of these items, which actually can be quite good. I think they're all level 52 items, so. Belt boots. And the problem with it is they all drop. You can't pick them all up most of the time. But we got the ones that might apply for this or our next build. Back home we go.
Worthless.
Yeah. Shut up.
That is too much.
I can't even make it fit. Curse you! Is it something I want? No. But still. No. It's the thought that counts. That's not actually true.
Yes. Take care.
Okay, did we get... Oh, we got a bunch. Let's see. Lightning Pen. The ward per second on that is quite good. Lightning Pen, sadly not so good. I am doing reasonably well. And how about you? Your dudeness? Chance to shock. Increased damage over time is good, but the shock does nothing for me. It doesn't float my boat. Chance to gain 30 ward when hit, plus ward decay. The other affixes aren't good. Critical strike multi. This is not really a critical strikey build, so that's of no help. Fire resistance, not for this build. Critical strike multi. Elemental resistance, not really for this build. Potion health. God, I hate that one. It just bugs me. And last of all, health and void resistance. Well, what else do we have? Any of these have void resistance? Oh, that's damage over time. Poison resist. Fizz resist. Fizz resist. Our void is the fish. We could use a little bit more poison and lightning, so we'll just bank this then. Bank it! And we did pick up Morning Frost. It's like Morning Wood, only a little less awkward. All right. I can pick up that now. Ha ha!
Yes.
I mean, I'm just going to sell it, but I can pick it up. Volatile zombie movement speed and damage. I do have those two volatile zombie idols. So I think I'll deconstruct that in case I decide I want to do volatile zombies. Do you think Rob is a volatile zombie? Old guy music reference. We definitely want to break that one up. I think we kind of want to break that one up too. Just breaking up is hard to do, you know. Actually, it's kind of easy. Let's see. That's a lot of void damage and lightning damage. Probably don't need both. Breaking everything would be too expensive. You don't want to break everything. You want to choose the things that you want to break. And then you want to bust them the bleep up. I'll be doing that second part. I will be busting them the bleep up. All right, that one we're saving. All right, so we're busting up 4 of them. This has got 5, 8, 9 affix tiers, and we got 8 of them. That's an excellent return on our investment. Only one we really want here, well, I mean, we're not going to say no to health. Health is always good, but the volatile zombie speed and damage is what we're looking for. Yay! The hybrid health is what we're looking for here. We got 1 out of them. And lastly, over here, damage over time is the primary one. We did get that. And then this we want to set aside on account of it might be good for that future build that I was speaking of that we may be looking at in the future. All right, we are going to now do the storyline stuff, the storyline missions, or the first 2 of them. If you're not familiar with this mechanic, as you go through the monoliths, you add stability to the timeline, which allows you to go through what changes in history happened to make this timeline occur. And we want to remove the corruption so that we can go to the end and defeat the big boss monster dude. Because he's a big boss monster dude. He's not the dude. The dude is here hanging. Thank you. But he's a big boss monster dude. And frankly, I'm pretty sure he's trading off the dude and his name.
Yes. Don't lose your.
Don't remember what the deal is with this timeline. It's like something happened with the Wengari. Did we get them all? We did. We want the Slayer's Crystal, because I know that's good for one of the builds. We're looking at making it. Temporal Sanctum Key.
Will not take me.
We are getting close to the next level. So I think my plan for tomorrow will be starting up another alt. That one will probably be Primalist Shaman, I think, for a Reflect build. I've never done a Reflect build in this game, so that will be a first for me. My understanding is Reflect builds are good this league. Normally a lot of people don't do Reflect builds, but except Mathel. But then Mathel does so many builds in these various and sundry ARPGs. It's like, I've done every single other build in the world. How about Reflect? He makes them all work. disgusting. Nobody should be that good at anything. He's also entertaining as a streamer. That Mathel guy. Actually can recommend. Ding 67. If you enjoy ARPGs and you like absolutely Saharan dry senses of humor, you can't go wrong. Well, I mean, you could, but in this case, you wouldn't. I think we just wanted 4 points in Spirit Leech. I'll check. And immediately, of course, now I have forgotten about it, so I will forget when we get back to home base. I know we're expecting the Wingari and Patriarch and Matriarch here, but they're not actually here. Not that I'm sad about that at all, because they always kill me. Pretty much. The sacked altar has no sign of the blessing horn. It's already been taken. Oh, noes. Wasn't me. Promise. Quick check time. 4 points in Spirit Leech. And then more points in Vessel of Chaos to get that up to 5. Vessel of Chaos. That's what the world is today. Hey, hey. 5 points will give us increased damage over time and more damage over time per overload. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll get to 5 on that.
Yes.
As a good chunk of the time we have 2 overloads running. Ignite overload and damnation overload. You might ask yourself, Self, how on earth can a person have too much damnation? And I don't know. I would think being overloaded on damnation is pretty much the ideal amount of damnation. All right, we have the second part of the Stolen Lance. The Siege of Farwood. Search for the Lance of Heorot. And it melts pretty good pace once I get going. And that one melted at an even better pace, because I was already in overload for both Damnation and Ignite. Well, they had nothing useful. Damnation and Ignition. So now we have to do some more monoliths because we need to get to here to open up the third. Yeah, it's one of the short ones. Sometimes it's basically just a boss fight. Or in that case, a couple of boss fights. A lot of times the third one is very, very short because it is literally just a boss fight. Or boss fight, depending on whether whether or not I'm pronouncing things correctly. Let's go to the frigid hinterland. A lot of words have been used to describe my hinterland, but frigid has to yet, so far, not been used. Okay, I got ahead of myself. There were no mobs there. Just run up on a person like that. Who does that? Like she thinks she's something special or something. Oh. I'm an enormous insect. That doesn't make you special. Those are a dime a dozen around here. That's a really big one, and it charged me and knocked me back again. Rude. So this is what I was talking about, how some mobs are basically they roll randomly as to what mobs are going to be in any given echo. Although I guess there probably are some of these echoes have some specific mobs, and then the rest are random rolled. But it does mean that if you get a randomly rolled one that's really annoying or really dangerous for your build, it can make the entire freaking thing into either just a huge annoyance or an absolute death trap. Oh, this one was relatively quick. Portal Charm. Let's clear out, make sure that's clear. It's not quite clear, is it? A twin to draw Lava Keeper of Haste. Alright, so now basically we just have to, I think, beat back the forces of the void. Yep. And this will open up a large part of the map so we can see what stuff we might want to glom onto. Not sure how much stability it adds. Yeah, it doesn't look like it adds a bunch of stability. Ah, missed me. Loser. Alright, that time I didn't dodge fast enough because I'm the loser. There we go. Echo conquered. Echo Beach, far away, in time. Back to home base. Honey, I'm home. Chance to cast Poison Nova when hit. Not for this build. Health on melee hit. That's not bad.
Yes.
You know, for a stabby rogue type. Seems reasonable.
Take care.
And so all of this stuff is now appears on the map screen here, whereas previously it didn't. I think that one and that one were the only ones that were there. This is going to give us a unique staff or a set staff, one of the two. Assuming, of course, again, we don't die. Miss T, welcome back. I am one of a kind, for which you may feel grateful. Imagine I were, identical quadruplets. The internet itself would vomit. It would just be, I can't do this anymore. I'm out. Did I accidentally open that? Or did it just pop up out of nowhere? Well, I haven't opened one of these for a while, and they can be really bad. So, let's open one. He's almost dead. He's dead. He has 4 experimental items now? Okay, well that's different. I've been mostly avoiding those because, generally speaking, at least in the past, the risk-reward profile was not a particularly generous one. So, Miss T, How has your winter been? Not too difficult, I hope. Oh, I see. The Rune Warden. He drops one of these. And I'm guessing like it's empowered or something. Three more experimental items. All right, what do we got? I need to slay all champions, and there are at least 3 in here. Well, those are tough. It's only an enormous freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex. How bad could it be? In this particular case, it was not particularly bad, but it could be bad. Because it's a big freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex. Expensive and bloody cold. Well, expensive doesn't surprise me. My understanding is that, you know, the simply small island can lead to, well, relatively small island, obviously, can lead to expensiveness. Ooh, that was bad. What the fuck killed me? Frostblight. Dot damage is a big killer at the end game. That's disappointing. I am disappointed. That's a legendary or batch of set pieces that I will now not be getting. This time last year, you had someone to share the cost with. Since it's passing, you're really feeling the cost-wise. Yeah, that makes sense. Not to mention the obvious human costs. Where do we want to go since we failed there? There's theoretically a unique out there. Let's go that way. Summer here, at least where I am, has for the second year in a row been very, very mild. All right, we got 2 of the little loot lizards who've got to go. One at a time. All right, we got both of them. Now we can go back and pick up the loot and stuff. As an example, last year in June, the average high temperature where I live in June is 85, which is 29 and a half. Is that right? Double check that. Yeah. Yep, 29 and a half. Yesterday, we didn't get to 80, which would be 3 degrees lower, 2.5 degrees lower Celsius. We didn't even get to 80 until the 29th of June. In other words, every day in June until the 29th day was at least 5 degrees cooler than usual. That is remarkably mild. And it's pretty much been that way for June and July here, too. This year. Very mild, uncharacteristically mild. This is my friend with the fire spitting. That's why I'm not running away. Now, on the other hand, I can't remember if it was last October or the previous October, we had like a week plus in the high 90s and over 100, which is extraordinary. No, it's not unusual. It is unheard of. It is usual for the Bay Area here to get 2 or 3 days in the 80s to upper 80s in October. So that'd be about 30 Celsius. We usually get an Indian summer for 1 to 3 days where the temperatures are warm and nice again. One last little piece of summer for us. To be in the 90s and the hundreds was absolutely, completely unprecedented. So we're having mild summers and ridiculously hot late autumns and winters. Gosh, it's too bad we don't have a name for that kind of climate change, you know? Like, I don't know, global climate change? Echo is conquered. Open the portal. Back through. Chance to chill? That's not very interesting. Chance to inflict bleed? That's kind of interesting. That one is... I gotta admit, if I'm doing like thiefy stuff, poison builds and bleed builds just always feel right. Increase cold damage and skeletal mages and skeletons, huh? Crit chance. 1% plus 1%? Are you kidding me? That's so insulting, I'm just going to sell it. Seasons are changing for sure. Cooler summers and even colder winters. Might be getting older? Nah. I understand that actually in the southern hemisphere, you actually get younger as the years pass. I kind of wish I could take advantage of that a lot. Looks like maybe 2 more. Engelbert Meow. Welcome. Hello. For those of you who do not know Engelbert Meow, you should. She mostly streams Guild Wars 2, but also does some cozy stuff. She does cursed cosplays, which often are much higher on the cursed than the cosplay, but please don't tell her I said so. She's actually delightful, and I believe I have subscribed to her like 15 out of the last 16 free subscriptions, something like that. I may have missed one at some point. She's delightful. Are you back from your trip away? Will you be streaming again tonight, say? As you can see, I'm playing Last Epoch. I have not spent much time in the beta for the new Guild Wars 2 classes, because I've been spending my time in the new season for Last Epoch. For those of you who have Guild Wars 2, we do have an active beta for the 9 new elite specializations that are coming in about 2 months with the new expansion. Only got to try out a couple of them so far. That guy's tough. I tried out a little bit of whoops. Not of whoops. Although maybe I tried out a little bit of whoops too. Can you really ever get enough whoops? The new Ranger spec of Gale Shot. And that's level 68. If you like... Oh, one more level and it'll be nice. If you like your bows and arrows, with bows and arrows and bows and arrows, then that's the spec for you. And the other one I tried out was the Evoker, which sadly had a bug. Okay, this is Seal the Skittering Gate, but this is just going to give me a merchant's cache, a whole bunch of those level 52 items. So I'm just going to grab the ones that could conceivably be used by this class. Yes, that's a shield that looks like a ship's wheel. They're all nautically themed things. Scepter, staff, wand. Anchor. Want to hit somebody with a two-handed axe anchor? They got you covered. What are we looking for? Oh, the Slithering Gate? Skittering Gate. Are there any nice creatures that skitter? I am dubious. Oh, shrine. I love gold! I can't help it. That's the first thing that comes to mind every time there's a freaking gold shrine. Heard you got pulled away from the keyboard. Well, you've got, you know, 3 kids in the house. 4 if we count you. You're back, but going to take a night off. I am willing to forgive that. Just don't make it a regular thing. I'll buy it this time. Missed me. Yeah, him, not you. All 3 items of the Xerix set. I'm doing reasonably well, all told. You know me. Generally, I kind of lowball stuff. I don't get too high or too low. So, you know, people ask how I'm doing. I tell them the truth. Most people lie. Most of the time, someone asks how I'm doing, I go, eh. And they go, what's wrong? And I go, nothing. Like most people, my day is eh. Is average. Everybody's day is average most of the time. Anyone who answers all the time with great or even good is lying. Most of the time they're same as me. This has been my TED Talk. I don't want to open the portal because we have a lair of the Woven. Why on earth would I want to leave when I can get myself killed? That just makes no sense at all. In we go. All kinds of really large, creepy, weird-ass bugs. We got another point in Vessel of Chaos. That's what the world is today. Hey, hey. Old guy music reference. Get everyone? Was everyone served? I'm so glad. Maybe they think, well, I would assume they think I'm weird and creepy. Oh, praying mantid. Taking the side of the bugs, are ya? That figures. That just figures. You know, there's more to a person as to whether or not they have chitin, all right? That's all I'm going to say on the subject. Hey, there's only one Bugs, and he's a bunny, okay? Actually, I'm an entomophobe. I'm not even kidding. That's an actual thing. I am an entomophobe. Bugs scare the living crap out of me. Basically, anything with chitin smaller than a lobster, I am not down with. God damn it. Don't hit the wrong button, Lens. Whoa! What the? Everybody and their mom wants to play with me right now. And not in a good way. If I saw a dog-sized ant, you would find out that even a fat guy like me can cling to the ceiling. In a lot of ways, I would say that ants may have been the primary reason for this, as we had really large. When I was growing up, my family had a cabin in Northern California for vacation time. Oh, don't do that, Lens. Do not do that when you're attempting to kill the Tomb Guardian. Thank you. And there were lots and lots of black ants, but they're big. I mean, yay big. I was used to little ants. Those big ants, they just kind of scared the living crap out of me. And that may be the actual source of my phobia. Oh, we've got another champion over here. I'm sure he wants to play as well. Fortunately, he may want to play, but I don't play. I'm trying to sound like a badass. How am I doing? Big ants and big flies creep you out. I haven't had to deal with big flies much. That tends to be more of a sort of a tropical kind of thing. And we ain't that. But yeah, I wouldn't like them. An actual okay, big boss coming up. So I will focus for a minute, and you all may enjoy watching me die. Oh, or possibly watching me absolutely murder the bleep out of them. That works too. I knew I was going to murder them. They never had a chance against me, now did they? Really don't like spiders and worms larvae. I'm actually okay with spiders. With two exceptions. First is, the middle of the night, you have to get up and perform natural functions, and you're careful and you don't stub your toe, and you turn on the light in the bathroom and there's a spider on the wall. In my case, little girly scream follows. When they surprise me, I don't like the spiders. The other thing about spiders is you can tell they actually have a malign intelligence because they've got all those legs and they never trip. The larvae thing makes sense, though. Do we have any new? Doesn't look like we have any new larger idols, so we will re-roll the affixes on this one. It's also going to cost us a bunch of memory amber. That's no fair. Why does it keep giving me the same crap? It hates me. Oh, my theory about the malign intelligence of spiders. Not a theory. That's just science. Any other purples? One other purple. A lot of armor on that. We did get one of the Weaver Will's Scissors of Atropos. Atropos, one of the fates, I think. The classic Greek fates. Like the fate spinner. Snip the string and... Yes, my stash tabs are an embarrassment. Why would you bring this up? That's just mean. All right, Isadora's set. That's a 3-piece. There's all 3 pieces. Why did it not pick up the right piece? Damn it. That's twice. We also have the Xerix set. You can move that there. And that there. That's so pretty. Any particularly good ones here? Ooh, that was healthing it. No, not quite. Not quite. Not terrible, but not quite there. Potion health, freeze rate multi. Nope, don't think any of those were up to my personal snuff. Necrotic spell damage per skeletal mage. Well, if I was playing skeletal mages, but I'm not. And all of this stuff is probably just going to get sold.
Yes.
Or possibly salvaged. That one's going to get salvaged, for instance. That's a lot of poison damage. Sure. Why not? Just cost me one of these. Money don't cost nothing. What tier is that? Tier 5. We will deconstruct that one as well. 3 to deconstruct, please. We have got a total of 7 affixes, and we got 6 out. Quite the bargain. 6, 9 affixes, 5 out. It's okay. Here we've got 6, 9, 10 affixes, and we got 5 out. That's fine. It's not great, but, you know, whatevs. All right, we do have this open. Oh, we've got multiple unique reward monoliths in a row. I have to do those before I finish up the timeline. I mean, that's just the way things are. So, for those who are not Last Epoch savvy, it's an ARPG, so it's like Diablo or Path of Exile. It is roughly in between Diablo 3 or 4 and Path of Exile in complexity. It's got a lot more depth than the Diablo 3 and 4 have. Not as much insane amounts as Path of Exile. My character is a acolyte. And acolytes have 3, you might call them elite specializations. Necromancer, Warlock, and Lich. This character is a Warlock. Warlocks are largely, but not exclusively, about curses. Liches are largely about converting themselves into Reaper form, which is every bit as sexy as it sounds. And, gee, can you figure out what necromancers do? I'll give you time. The big points about this game that makes it particularly different from other ARPGs, the crafting is very full-featured and pretty straightforward, really. And every skill... what's flying by? Every skill has its own skill tree. You can get up to 20 points in any skill, plus any extra points, and I have 2 more to spend. Why do I have 2 more to spend? I don't know. But I do. I was put 1 in there, and that seemed good. Sure. Oh, it took my points away from something else, didn't it? Yeah, I changed gear. All right, well, we can deal with that later. It's fine. It's fine. And the crafting is pretty straightforward. For instance, do I have any crafting left on this? No. Forging potential is 0. How about this? Also 0. Hey. You guys mind? I'm talking to people here. It's so hard. It's also 0. Do I have any that are not 0? That one's got increased potential. So, every time you reforge an item, it takes some of the potential away. And let's say I want to increase the health on this item. It's currently at 90. I just click here. I have 76 affixes, so I can do it 76 times. I'll upgrade that to tier 5, which is the maximum. It did use the last of the forging potential, unfortunately, but now I have 95 health. And that's as simple as crafting can get. You can't always get everything you want, but you can get a lot of individual customization to your perfect build. What the hell am I looking for? Slaying enemies until a cocooned item drops. Right, that is going to be a legendary item that will not be identified. The only identification will be what kind of legendary it is. I got one of these. There we go. It is a cocooned shield. Bloop. Bloop. This should be a unique item. Bingo, it is. And another? Oh, what a shame. Not a shame at all. Alright, so we got Diothane's Bloody Nib. I said nib. You are inflicted with bleed when you hit an enemy with Shatter Strike. Extra cold pen with Shatter Strike per stack of bleed on you. Extra Shatter Strike, Dex, increased mana regen, and critical strike multi. Mage's huge idol, I can tell you, mages all think their idol is huge. Just saying. That's a 3-rune one. The Stormhide Pause with Swipe. That might be useful. And the Cocoon Shield is Defiance of the Forgotten Knight. I'm disappointed because, like, I've already got one, you know. Right there. 98-18, 88-14. 21-24-7, 26-22-6. I think that one's better. So we'll sell this. 1,250. I think they raised the price on those. We've got one more legendary reward item, and then we will finish out the timeline. Fight the boss. Possibly die a time or two, you know, just to amuse the audience. I clearly would never die in any game if I weren't doing it, for content. Wait, whoop. What is still shooting at me? Oh, this had a whole lot of Weaver's touch. I didn't realize it had that much. Weaver's items are very cool. They have some nice stats to begin with. And then they also have a random number of affixes. That's my second gel cores. I talked about gel cores the other night. And what a fun build it is. It turns a bow skill into a melee skill. And if you dual wield them, it's just a blast. And I mentioned how much luck I've had in getting 2. Last league, I got one early, and I said, God, I would like a second one. I'll try to use a Rune of Ascendance, which probably has like a 3% chance of working. And it did. And I immediately had 2. So I then made the build again because it's fun. It's not a great build anymore. It's still a good build. But now I have 2 runes of... well, not 2 runes, but 2 Gel Core's Blast Knives. It may be time again. What am I looking for? Slay enemies to locate the Forged Soldier. Slay the Forged Soldier. I was ambushed instead. I killed the guy who ambushed me. Because he's a loser. And I'm not. And now we get another unique item. I've already got one, Seriously, there are so many unique items in the game, and I'm generally not getting lucky in getting ones that I ain't already got. Still, I'm not unhappy about getting the gel cores. Ooh, max gel cores, too. It's got all the best numbers. Okay, the lowest tier on one of them, but that's okay. This going to fit in here anywhere? No. Why not? Because I've lined things up in a foolish way and am now trying to find a way to make it fit. It fit perfectly. First time. That's a cell, and that's a purple. Purple goes into the new purple box. Necrotic Resistance Mage Helmet. Tier 6, I assume. Tier 6. We are now going to fight a boss. Then I'll be calling it an evening, because if I called it a potato, that wouldn't make any sense. The Argentum Spire awaits. Defeat God Hunter Argentus. That'll be easy. He's either a hunter god or he's a hunter of gods. Either way, easy peasy, right? Here we go. Oh, he's got lots of friends. It's nice that he has friends. Not nice for me, but for his friends, I guess. We get them all? Alright, now he's coming back, I think. Ooh, that kind of hurt. Get him. He's at 40%, so my pet spawned in, and then I culled him. Increased quiver drop rate, gloves drop rate, or belt drop rate. Let's go with belts. What was the percent? 18 or 26? We'll go with the gloves. Not a great buff for defeating this timeline. We did get the green set, and that is it. But we defeated the God Hunter or Hunter of Gods. It's not clear. We'll go back to the end of time, drop our stuff off, and we'll probably be calling it an evening. Okay, we'll definitely be calling it an evening. So, I want to thank all of you for hanging out this evening. As always, I am very appreciative that you have such terrible taste. I will be back tomorrow at the usual time, I expect. Usual time being 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, with more of this insanity, although it'll be brand new insanity because I'll be playing an alt. I'll be swapping over, creating a new character, and I'll be playing, initially it'll be a Primalist, and I think then eventually the elite spec choice is Shaman for that one, but I'm not positive off the top of my head. It will be good because all of the creatures will have to be hitting me to die. And don't you all want to see me get hit? I think so. It'll be, I expect, a Thorns build. Never played a Thorns build before. But that's my plan for tomorrow. Beyond that, I don't know. End of next week, Friday, we get the new PoE 2 League. I'm almost certainly going to be playing that. After all, I own it. New stuff. Might as well play it. I will try to have an night. Thank you, Manted. I mean, what you're wishing me is an average or better night. And I would like all of you to have an average or better night too. Better would be better on account of better is better. But average is, it's fine. I'm back tomorrow. Hopefully you'll see me soon. Have a great rest of your evening or possibly early morning. Also, because I like to set an achievable goal for everyone who hangs out here, I hope your upcoming work week doesn't suck. Back tomorrow. Take care and ciao for now. Bye, guys.